Qualifying is complete at Watkins Glen. It was actually quite the interesting qualifying session. We had a lot of different things going on. There was even a couple of incidents. Christopher Bell, his engine exploded. Something went wrong with the engine there. Ty Gibbs crashed, but they were able to fix the car. Not a lot of damage on that car, and he was able to go back out and actually make a qualifying run. We saw a lot of different guys up front. Once again, Toyota struggling at the road courses, and Chevy, once again, showing a lot of speed, specifically Hendrick Motorsports. 3 of their cars in the top 4 starting tomorrow. So, yes, obviously Hendrick Motorsports, they've been historically great at road courses, whether it was Jeff Gordon back in the 90s and 2000s, and even as of recent years with Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, and even William Byron. Byron hasn't won at a road course, but he's had some top 5 runs. He's won some stages, and he qualified 4th here today, but Chase Elliott is on pole for the race tomorrow. Of course, Elliott, he has 2 wins at Watkins Glen. He's won at 5 different road courses. He's won at Watkins Glen. He's won at the Daytona road course, COTA, the Roval, Road America. So he's won at least 5. I think that's 5 there. So he is a very good road course racer, up there top 3 all-time on the road course list. Obviously, he's had a lot of attempts, a lot of different tracks to do it, compared to guys like Gordon and Stewart, who only had 2 or 3 opportunities back in the day, but still very impressive on the road courses. And he's once again showing how fast he is. He put down a super fast lap, his first lap in the second round of qualifying, and no one topped it. He ran a second lap just to be safe. He was a little bit off, but it was such a good lap that no one was able to even get within a tenth of it, I think. I think the next guy, Larson, was 2 or 3 tenths behind. So Elliott looked really strong in qualifying, also looked strong in practice, was less than 200ths off of Larson in practice, looked good in the first round of qualifying. I mean, Elliott looked extremely fast. Hendrick Motorsports looked extremely fast today in the practice and qualifying sessions. Byron was the fastest in Group B of qualifying. Larson was the fastest in Group A. Elliott obviously was second fastest. Bowman, even though he didn't make the final 10, he was the first one out. He was 11th, so Hendrick Motorsports as a whole looks really strong for the race tomorrow. Elliott can clinch the regular season tomorrow. So, I don't know what their plan is. Obviously, they want to get the race win, get some more playoff points there, but, maybe just in case something goes wrong, just run that first stage smoothly, stay out, get the stage win. You get 1 playoff point for the stage win, and then you clinch the regular season title. That's 15. Maybe you can do that. I don't know what their plan is, but Elliott has swept the stages before and won at Watkins Glen, so, they might go for that again. I don't know, but Elliott on pole, Larson second. That's kind of the big thing, is that Hendrick looks really, really strong. But you may see that lineup, and you see 1, 2, 4. Who is the 3? Who's the one that split up the Hendrick 1, 2, 3 in qualifying? Now, historically, maybe over the past couple of years prior to this year, you would have guessed Martin Truex Jr., maybe even another Joe Gibbs driver like Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin, or maybe even someone like A.J. Allmendinger, who's been really good on road courses. But no, it was Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell, of course, needs a win to make the playoffs, but he has always been a really good road course racer. He finished 3rd at Sonoma earlier this year. He usually runs in the top 10 at these road courses, despite Front Row, not usually being a top-tier team, a top contending team. But at the road courses, they have been really good, especially this year. And Michael McDowell, once again, proving that. A really good qualifying effort in 3rd, but he does need a win to make the playoffs. This could be his best opportunity. Obviously, Daytona is next week, and, he has won at Daytona before. But looking at the position he's starting, looking at the speed he showed during qualifying and practice, it's a very good opportunity for him in the 34 team to get a win and make it into the playoffs. Tyler Reddick, who's won the last 2 road course races at the Indianapolis Road Course and Road America, he is starting 5th. He looked really good. He actually was up on Chase Elliott going into the bus stop, but Elliott just had a really good bus stop in the carousel, and Reddick just slid a little bit too much, and he gave up. I think he was half a tenth up, and then he ended up a few tenths off, actually. That's, that was the difference, the bus stop and the carousel. So Reddick is starting 5th. Allmendinger is starting 6th. Chris Buescher, who has looked really good at road courses this year, surprisingly, is starting 7th. Other significant qualifiers, Kyle Busch, the highest qualifying Toyota, in 10th. Obviously, as I said, Toyota has struggled at road courses this year. Tracks that they've historically been good at. You look at Martin Truex Jr. at Sonoma. He's won 3 or 4 races there for Toyota. Back in 2013 with Michael Waltrip Racing. He won in there in 2018, 2019 with Joe Gibbs Racing in Furniture Row. So he knows how to get it done at road courses. He's won at Watkins Glen before. But this year has been a completely different story on the road courses for Toyota. I don't know what it is, but they have just missed it massively. Nowhere near contention for the win. Barely top 10 at times. I mean, they have just looked bad at road courses compared to their history. Truex is a great road racer. Kyle Busch is a good road racer. Denny Hamlin's a good road racer. All 3 of them have won at this track. Kyle Busch is starting 10th. So something about those Toyotas, I don't know what it is, but they just have missed very hard at this track. Or this type of track, I should specify. Ty Gibbs, I mentioned him earlier. He's starting 16th. Got into the wall during qualifying or practice. I think it was practice, and he was able to come back out, minimal damage. But he talked about how hard the hit was on the wall. He said it was such a small hit, but it felt much bigger, and he, became one of those drivers. And this is a good thing that kind of said, I think there needs to be a change. I barely hit the wall, and I felt like I hit the wall a lot. So, once again, the safety of the next-gen car being brought up. Of course, the reason Ty Gibbs is in the Cup Series right now is because Kurt Busch is out with a concussion, and because he hit the wall at Pocono. So the safety issues with the next-gen car once again getting brought up today, but Ty Gibbs seemed to be okay. He ended up making a qualifying run, which is good to see. Shout out to Joey Hand. Joey Hand has been racing for Rick Ware Racing at the road courses the past couple of years, and he has done very, very good in that car. Obviously, Rick Ware Racing, they're a backmarker team. There's no other way to put it. They are usually running in the 30s. They get up in the 20s if there's a lot of things that happen, but Joey Hand has consistently put them in the top 20 in qualifying at road courses. He has done a superb job. He's a sports car driver. He knows what he's doing at these road courses, so shout out to him. He has done amazing. Speaking of guys from outside of NASCAR or other forms of racing, this is like the international weekend of NASCAR. We have 7 different nationalities represented at this race. Of course, the U.S. The majority of the drivers are from the U.S., but we also have driver from Russia. We have a driver from Finland. Of course, Mexico with Daniel Suarez. We have a British driver. We have a German driver. And we have a Dutch driver. So 7 nationalities. Let's talk about all 6 others. Obviously, we've talked about quite a few Americans here. So going down the order, the first one that we will see is Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen, of course, we've talked about him for a few months now. He is making his NASCAR Cup Series debut, raced in Formula One for almost 20 years. Won a championship in Formula One back in 2007 with Ferrari, retired at the end of last year, and he is making his NASCAR Cup Series debut. This is not his first time in NASCAR, but it is his first time in the Cup Series. Raced in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series in a one-off race in 2011 at Charlotte on the Oval, but this is his first road course in NASCAR and also his first Cup Series start, his first time in the next-gen car in a competitive setting. Of course, he did a test at VIR 2 weeks ago, and that was not a Trackhouse provided car. So this is his first time with a car that the team built on the track that they are going at. Used all the time to his advantage in practice and qualifying, and he qualified 27th. Trackhouse very competitive on the road courses this year. You look at Chastain has a win. Daniel Suarez has a win. They've been up front a lot. Not the greatest qualifying effort from Trackhouse. Suarez had a good effort, 9th place, but Chastain not so much, 18th. But I'm sure they'll do better in the race. As for Kimi, what are the expectations? 27th in qualifying, not great, but he looked all right. He looked like he was holding his own, getting used to the track, making adjustments. Obviously, it's a long race tomorrow, 90 laps. We'll see how he does as the time goes on. But I think a top 25 would be a good day. A top 20 would be a great day for Kimi Raikkonen and that team. It's a decently competitive car, but it is Kimi's first start. It's been limited lap time, track time, I should say. So, I don't think he's going to compete for the win. Top 10 is a long shot, but if he can get a top 20, I think that would be a good day for him. Just avoid any chaos, get the laps under your belt, have a good time. That's why you're there. Kimi Raikkonen starting 27th. Next is Mike Rockenfeller. We also talked about him. He was also at that test at VIR. He is making his Cup debut today for Spire Motorsports. He has won Le Mans, and he's been a very accomplished sports car driver, endurance driver. So He is making his Cup Series debut. He is from Germany, and he is racing for Spire. As I said, he is starting 33rd, right behind his teammate Corey LaJoie in 32nd. So Spire, usually a backmarker team, but a pretty decent effort by Rockenfeller. Beat out a Stewart-Haas racing car and Eric Almirola. That is extremely impressive in that car. Both Spire drivers, to be honest, but Rockenfeller in his Cup Series debut, his first ever weekend on the track, just like Kimi. Very good effort for him. Loris Hezemans, the Dutch driver, he has been with Team Hezenberg this year. He has made starts on all the road courses, I believe. COTA, I can't remember if they did Sonoma. I know they did Road America, and I know they did the Indianapolis road course. Of course, he has been with that team since its beginnings last October when they did that test. He was helping test the car, so he is familiar with this team, familiar with this car. He qualified 34th. 36, Daniel Kvyat, former F1 driver as well. This is his second career start in the Cup Series. Made his first start at the Indianapolis road course. Unfortunately, did not finish that race, but he is from Russia, making his second start, as I said. Also making a start for Team Hezenberg. That's who he started with at Indianapolis. Yeah, starting just a couple positions behind his teammate, still getting used to the car, all that stuff. Only his second career start, as I said. And then 37th is Kyle Tilley from Great Britain. He has been racing for Live Fast Motorsports for a couple of races now, a few races. I think even last year he ran a few races for him on the road courses. Usually it's BJ McLeod in that car on the ovals, but at the road courses, Kyle Tilley has filled in, a British driver from Great Britain. So yeah, there you go. There's your international driver. It's the week of international. They don't call it Watkins Glen International for no reason. Living up to the name, of course. Watkins Glen used to be the host of an F1 race. It does still run some IMSA races, but a very unique weekend at NASCAR for Watkins Glen this weekend. It'll be interesting to see how this race pans out. Obviously, with the stages and stuff, it messes up the strategies a bit. We see mixed strategies. Do you stay out and get stage points? Do you go and pit so you can have track position at the beginning of the next stage? What do you do? Obviously, there are some guys who are fighting for regular season points to, improve their position for more playoff points. And then we have Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Blaney fighting for the final spot in the playoffs, assuming there's not a new winner. And of course, they are starting on the same road. Truex is starting 25th, Blaney 26th. Shockingly bad efforts from them. 26 points separates them. Blaney in the advantage. So yeah, that's going to be one of the big storylines tomorrow. Blaney versus Truex. How are they going to do? Will they go for the win? Will they go for stage points? Can they improve their position, get up through the field? I'm curious to see how that goes because neither of them seem competitive right now. And I could see 10 guys staying out before the end of stage one. And if they can't get up far enough, then if they stay out, they just screwed themselves. They're going to be at the back either way. So curious to see how it's going to go, what they're going to do, but they desperately need to make up positions. And if you're Truex, if it's a bad day for both of you, you need Ryan Blaney to have some sort of issue and finish in the 30s, and maybe you can get a top 20. You gain a lot of points there. So both of them not looking great, but if there's a new winner, it makes things completely interesting. As for my previews, so Watkins Glen, obviously, it's been a long time race on the schedule. Road courses this year have been dominated by Chevys. The last few years has been dominated by Chevy on the road courses. Chase Elliott looks strong. Kyle Larson looks strong. Reddick, of course. Byron. Yeah, it's going to be tough to pick, but, Chevy has looked the strongest. Toyota has not looked strong. Some of the Fords have looked strong. You look at McDowell. You look at Cindric even. He's up there in the top 10. And you also look at Chris Buescher. Could we get a long shot? I think it's definitely possible. If we get into an Indianapolis situation where there's late race restarts, I could see some people pulling some aggressive moves if they have to get a win or something. But Watkins Glen usually hasn't been that way. If anything, this would turn into a fuel mileage race. That's what Watkins Glen usually does. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Chevy here. Elliott's looked really, really good this weekend. I think I'm going to pick Chase Elliott to win this weekend. He's just looked so strong. He's looked like the best car so far. Obviously, things can change. He can get in an incident, anything like that. He's definitely going to clinch up the regular season championship this weekend, but I think he gets the win as well. It's been a while since he's won on a road course, shockingly, but They look really good right now, looking like they could get their 5th win of the season. But I think Larson and his other teammate Byron will give him a good run for his money as well. So we'll see how the race is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Once again, I don't know what tomorrow holds for my schedule. Tonight, I still plan on doing the Joey Logano Championship case. As for tomorrow, my flight is supposed to leave in the morning. Where I'm going on a vacation, but there's a chance of storms at the airport, so it could delay it. I don't know. It's complicated. It could get delayed to the race. I don't know. I'm going to try my best to watch it. I really don't know, but I'm going to do my best. I will try my best to do a video, watch the race, give you my opinions, all that stuff, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. But if not, I'll keep you updated in the community post. I'll probably make a post in the morning giving you another poll, kind of who you think is going to win the race. And yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. So hopefully everything goes well. Tonight you will see another video, championship case for Joey Logano, and I'll talk to you tomorrow after that.